Hello traders, if you're watching this video, it means you're done with the introduction. So in the last video, I showed you exactly the reason why price alone is not enough for you to become very precise with your decisions in trading. I showed you the reason why 97% of traders fail because they only trust price. And remember, price is the outcome of the transactions that are completed in the market. So today I want to be introducing something very good to you guys, something very critical, and I want you guys to pay attention as possible. I want you guys to keep your focus, don't get distracted. Today I'll be showing you the actual reason why the market move the way they move, or I'll be showing you the reason behind movement of price. And this is the concept that 97% of the losing traders have wrong. They have the wrong concept of why the markets move. So I want us to focus. In this lesson, I will introduce to you the foundations of order flow, or what we call the auction market theory, or the physics of money. Call it what you want, but I want you guys to pay attention. So let's get straight into it. Yeah. So get a notebook, get a pen. This is the section, or this is the part of order flow where you need to start noting down. Get your laptop, open your notebook, note down something. If you don't understand this part that I'm about to introduce to you about order flow, nothing else in order flow will make sense to you. So I want you guys to focus. I want you guys to be fully attentive to this lesson, because this is the foundation of order flow. So most traders think that price moves because of indicators, because of patterns, because of they have a lot of theories that they teach you guys, a lot of theories that your mentors have come up with to scam you from your money. But today I want to show you the actual reason behind price movement, the actual reason behind market movement. So let's start immediately. With me, I have what we call the auction market theory. Auction market theory, this is the foundation of order flow, like I said, and today I will be taking you through the auction market theory. You need to pay maximum attention because this is the foundation. If you don't get these three big heads that I'm about to explain to you guys right now, then you will be by far left to understanding what order flow is really about. So what is DOM, what is smart tape, and what is footprint charts? DOM stands for the depth of market, and this is where we find our limit orders or our passive orders. The depth of market, or the order book, is where sellers or buyers that are willing to wait for price to reach to their desired level will place their orders. We are going to get back to that in a minute. So what is the smart tape? Smart tape, this is where you will find your aggressive orders. Buyers or sellers that want immediate action will place their orders right here. You are going to find the orders right here. So what is the footprint charts? This is the tool, or this is where you will be able to count the number of buyers and sellers with correlation to the liquidity. With time, you're going to learn everything that I'm talking about. Here we have two types of orders. We have aggressive orders and passive orders. And we said these two orders are the major orders in the market. You and me, every single day, use these orders without noticing. Like we said, in an auction house, we have the bidders and we have who is asking. If I am the one that is selling the horse and I come and I list my horse at 5 million US dollars, so I'm asking for 5 million US dollars, and anyone that is willing to buy, you see people raising their hands. Yeah, I will buy it 5 million. Then next person will raise their hand. I will say I'll buy it at 5.1, 5.2. They are bidding for the horse. Simple terms. If I'm selling my phone and I tell you my phone, I will sell it for 1,000 US dollars. Then you come to me and be like, Kevin, no, I will not buy your phone at 1,000 US dollars. I'll give you 900 US dollars. So that will be me asking for 1,000 US dollars for my phone, and you will be bidding 9,000 to buy my phone. So both of us are limit or passive traders. We are placing our orders at specific prices, waiting for aggressive orders. Let me explain it in this way. Passive orders or limit orders are placed at a specific price level in the order book and they are waiting to be filled. They do not get filled until an aggressive order interacts with them. Then and only shall we have a transaction. So these orders provide us with liquidity, and we know these orders are used as defense and absorption by the big traders. They use these limit orders or passive orders to stop price or to slow down price movement. We're going to get to that later. So in order flow, these orders show up as high volume with little price movement, and using these orders you'll be able to mark out your absorption zones, like we are going to learn everything step by step. No Russia. We have aggressive orders, and we know aggressive orders are immediate execution or market orders, like I'm going to show you in the next slide. So these orders want to be executed immediately, or these traders want to execute their orders immediately, and they will be hitting the available liquidity. So an aggressive order only interacts with a passive order. No passive orders interact with each other. Let's say I am willing to sell my phone at 1,000 US dollars and you are willing to buy it at 900 US dollars. There will be no interaction done until one of us decides to accept the other's price. If I keep my phone at 1,000 US dollars and you keep your price at 900 US dollars, no transaction will be done. So passive orders do not interact with each other, be it or buy or sell, doesn't matter. Passive orders interact with aggressive orders. That is the only type of transaction we have in the market. And we said aggressive orders or orders that execute immediately by hitting existing liquidity. We said liquidity is the passive or limit orders. The aggressive orders hit the liquidity, meaning they hit the passive orders. So they cross the spread, they buy at the ask, we're going to learn that, and sell at the bid, we're going to learn that, and they force price movement. They represent urgency, like I said, and intent of traders willing to accept price to get filled in. Doesn't really matter if it's expensive or cheap, they want it immediately. That is what we call urgency in the market. So in order flow, they appear as delta spikes and impulsive moves. Using aggressive order, you will be able to analyze or understand initiative aggression or initiative activity in the market. So now that we know what passive orders are and what aggressive orders are, I feel like we should go on to the next concept. But let's lock this in first. We know passive orders are limit orders. This is our liquidity. And we know aggressive orders are market orders. These are the ones that eat out the liquidity. What does that mean? Passive orders stops price or slows down price, while aggressive orders push price or force price to move. You need to lock down these two rules. Passive orders stop price. Aggressive orders move price. Let's say someone comes in or someone places an aggressive order in the market right here. If someone presses this button, or if you do press this button, you are saying I want to buy now. So this means your order will get filled in by the best available price or the best available limit order. We're gonna get to that in a minute. If you press this button right here, sell by market order, it means your order will get filled in by the best available price. What does that mean? Who is buying near to me? I want to sell to them immediately. That is a sell by market order. So if you're selling immediately, the next available price that someone wants to buy at is the price your order will get filled at, and vice versa to the buy by market order. So we know these market orders get filled with the best available price. Kevin, what about if I put my limit order? This is a limit order. Your limit order, if it's a sell limit order, you wait for someone to buy from you because you are selling, and your order will not get filled until price reaches to your level. So if price doesn't reach to this level, what happens? Your order never gets filled. Your order only gets filled when price reaches to your level and there is a buyer who is willing to buy what you're selling. That is a sell limit order. So this order is set at a specific price level to wait for aggressive buyers. Same thing with the buy limit order. So if you're buying, you are buying from someone that is selling aggressively. So your order does not get filled in until price reaches to your level right here. Like we see at this level, price is at 7,219 and a quarter. So your order doesn't get filled in until it gets to this level. Hope you understand what I'm trying to bring up. If you don't understand this, let's get into the real foundation. Yeah, focus. This is the order book or the depth of market. We said in the order book we only find passive orders. Only passive orders. We never have aggressive orders here. It's only the passive what? Orders. And in the order book, you will have 3 levels. This is not how the order book looks. This is a simplified version. I want you to focus and I want you to give me all your attention so I explain this concept to you. Okay, this is the depth of market or the order book. We said only limit orders or passive orders get placed in this order book, and you have 3 levels here. You have the bid, you have price itself, and you have the ask. Listen carefully. The order book of the charts doesn't look like this. This is a very, very simplified version that I've made up for you guys to try and understand the depth of market from the very basics. So we have price and we have ask and bid. So at the bid of the order book, that is where we have limit orders to buy. At the ask of the order book, that is where we have limit orders to sell, like I told you. Okay, let me explain it this way for you. Let's say you visit the mall. In the mall, you will find only passive orders. What do I mean by that? If you go to the mall, you find a shop, electronics shop. They're selling something that the price has already been determined, and you have to reach that price they have determined for you to have a transaction with them. Let's say you go to a Nike shop. You'll find that price has already been determined. It doesn't matter whichever, you'll find price already determined. That is what we call limit orders. Now, you who is coming into the mall is the aggressive order. Why? Because you have come to buy the shoe. And it doesn't really matter if you find the shoe at either 500 US dollars or 1000 US dollars, you are still gonna buy it because you've come to buy it. That is an aggressive order. But in the order book, we find only limit orders. And the bid, limit orders to buy or buy limit orders. I'm gonna explain deeply. At the ask, sell limit orders like this. Now, this is a buy limit order. And this trader is saying, I want to buy 5 contracts. If price comes down to level 95, only then will he buy. That is a buy limit order. It is you saying, oh, the new iPhone just came out. It is really expensive. I won't buy it right now. I will buy it when it gets cheaper. That is a limit order to buy. When the asset you want to buy gets to your desired price level. We have a second trader. Trader number 2 comes in with a limit order to sell. So the trader is saying, I will sell 10 contracts if price comes to this level, level 96. So the trader is simply saying, at level 96, I am going to sell 10 contracts. It is the same as me, who is a farmer. I have my cattle in the farm, and price per cattle currently is 94 per cattle. and I don't want to sell my cattle that cheaply. If I don't want to sell my cattle that cheaply, I will wait for price to move from 94 per cattle to 96. That is where I put my level, my order to sell 10 cattle. We're not talking about cattle right now. It's just an example to simplify things. So this trader set a sell limit to sell 10 contracts if price reaches to 96. Let's go. Here we have two more traders coming into the market. Remember, we said these are buy limit orders and these are sell limit orders. So two more traders come in. One trader with a buy limit order to sell 3 contracts at level 94, and the fourth trader at level 97 selling 2 contracts. So buy limit order 3 contracts, sell limit order 2 contracts, and we have 4 participants. That is the first order that we got, the second one being 10 contracts, third order 3 contracts to buy limit, and sell limit 2 contracts. 4 orders, but still there is no price movement. This proves to us that limit orders do not move price. There has been 0 transaction within these 4 participants. You get my point? So even with 4 market participants at this particular time, still price did not move. That simply means that limit orders do not move price because you didn't see any transaction. Price only moves with transactions being made. 0 transactions, 0 price movement. So we have our 5th participant come in. Remember, at this price level, we had 10 contracts to sell. 5th trader comes in, adds 5 contracts to these 10, makes it 15 contracts. Keep in mind, 15 contracts. So we have 2 traders at price 96. And these 2 traders, the first trader that came at that particular price had 10 contracts to sell, and the second trader had 5 contracts to sell. So 2 participants here, first order with 10 contracts, second order with 5 contracts. I'm cooking something. So at this particular level, 96, an aggressive order comes in. We have our first aggressive order to come to the market. So this first aggressive order wants to buy 6 contracts. What happens in this scenario? He buys 6 contracts, but in this level, we had 15 contracts. Remember, the first order that we had at that particular level was 10 contracts. Second order was 5 contracts, and the total was 15. So 15 contracts minus the 6 contracts that the aggressive buyer is buying from these sellers, we have remaining total of 9 contracts. So the first order, remember, the market works with a first come, first serve basis. Since we had our first order having 10 contracts, this buyer that is buying aggressively 6 contracts cannot buy these 5 contracts before they buy the 10 contracts. Listen again. Market works in a first come, first serve basis. You get my point? So if our first order had 10 contracts, these 10 contracts have to first get filled for the 5 contracts to also get filled. As much as we had 6 contracts come in, they could not get filled to the 5 contracts. No, because we had 10 contracts come in as the first order before the 5. So the 10 contracts get filled and only 6 of them get filled, which leaves us with 4 contracts remaining to be filled from the limit orders that we had here. Don't get confused. Note down, if you don't understand anything, rewatch the video. Let's continue. So the 6 contracts ate up the 6 contracts from the aggressive buyer, ate up the 6 contracts from the sell limit order, and we remained with 9 contracts from the sell limit order. But remember, the 9 contracts we have here, we have 4 contracts from the first order, because the first order was 10 contracts. And we have the 5 contracts from the second order. So these 2 traders are still here waiting, because the first trader only received 6 contracts and he remained with 4 contracts unfilled. Second trader has not received anything, so they both stay here. So since this is our last transaction price level, that stays as our market price, and that is why I was telling you candlesticks are not enough, because candlesticks are showing you what has happened already without you knowing what has happened. So if we had a candlestick, the candlestick would currently be at this price level. If we opened below here, this would be the open and this would be your close, but it's not closed yet because market or the candlestick is still open. We're still trading. Let's say it's a 5-minute candlestick and 5 minutes and have not erupted, and the candlestick is still open. You get my point? So another trader comes in. So this trader is an aggressive seller, and he comes in to sell an order, let's say, of 5 contracts. When this seller comes in, the current price is 96. When he comes, he is an aggressive seller. So when he presses his order at 96, he finds that there is no liquidity at price 96. What happens next? Price goes to the next available price level to fill him in, because he's an aggressive seller. An aggressive seller simply means I don't really care what the price is right now, fill my order right now. So he places his order at price level 96, but there's no limit orders there, simply meaning there's no liquidity there. So that pushes price to level 95, and at level 95 he is gonna get filled in. Listen carefully. So this order, this aggressive seller came and he was willing to sell 4 contracts aggressively to any willing buyers, but he finds that there is no buyer at price level 96, and that means his order gets pushed to the next best available level. What is that level? So if I'm selling, listen carefully, I'm aggressively selling, it means I will sell at a higher price. So he wants to sell at 96 for me to make profit, of course, but he finds that 96 there is no buyer. And who is the next best available buyer? 95. Why do we call him the next best available buyer? Let's say you had an order down here. I would not sell someone my asset at level 92 if I have someone that is willing to buy at 95. Simple. Look at the illustration right here. You have someone that is willing to buy at level 95. Why would you sell to someone that is giving you for cheap at level 94? Doesn't make sense. That is why we call it the next best available buyer, the buy limit. And at this level, we found 5 contracts being sold. And this aggressive trader, as he came, he was selling 4 contracts aggressively. He wants to get filled in immediately. So that pushes price from level 96 to level 95, and he sells the 4 contracts, and here we had 5 contracts. We remain with only 1 contract left unfilled. Takes us to the next explanation. So if 4 limit contracts are filled, that means price moves from 96 to 95, because 95 is where we have our last transaction. So the asset value has moved from price 96 to 95. Do you get my point? So what should we have for price to go to level 94? I pause and answer this question. For price to go to level 94, what should we expect the market to do? Pause and answer. Pause and answer. Let's get straight into it. So for 4 contracts were filled here, and only 1 contract remains. So for price to come to level 94, all orders have to be filled. You get my point? But there's still an order unfilled, so price is still 95. For us to go to price level 94, we need an aggressive seller to come and sell to him, so his order gets filled, because he's a limit buyer. So an aggressive seller will come and sell to him, and his order will get filled. Then price will go to level 94 if we have any other aggressive seller and no limit orders Here, let's go. Next explanation. Let's say a big order comes in, big limit order. And this big limit order, this guy wants to buy 20 contracts if price goes to level 92. Actually, this is how the market works. Limit orders, these big limit orders from big institutions are set at very cheap price levels if at all they are to buy. If they are to sell, they are set at very expensive levels. Why? For them, they want to slow down price or they want to create absorption. You will learn all these terms. Nothing should scare you. So we have a big limit order that is 20 contracts at price level 92. So what happens if we get aggressive seller coming in to sell 10 contracts? Listen carefully. So we have another order coming in. This aggressive seller comes in with 10 contracts for sale. What happens? We said at price level 95, we had one contract. This guy wanted to buy one contract. Price level 94, this guy wanted to buy 3 contracts. But here, aggressive seller is selling 10 contracts. What does that mean? His order goes to price level 95 that we were at and fills in the buy limit order that we had, the one contract. Then also fills in the 3 contracts. So price is moving from 95 to 94 because all orders here have been filled. We go on to the next price level. What is the next best available price level? 94. We also reach 94. There's only 3 contracts. What does that mean? We filled in the 1 and the 3, that is 4 contracts filled in from the 10 contracts that we are selling aggressively. So we look for the next best available price. Price goes to 93. We find that at price level 93, there is no liquidity. There is no limit orders. What does that mean? Price has to push to look for the next best available price. Why? This is an aggressive seller. He wants his order to be filled in immediately. Doesn't really matter if he gets filled in at a bad price. It is an aggressive order. So at price level 93, we have no liquidity. Price pushes to level 92. And when we go to price level 92, we find that we had a big order of 20 contracts previously. And that big order with our 6 that is remaining, remember, let me take you back. 1 contract here plus 3 contracts here makes it 4 contracts. Aggressive seller comes in with 10 contracts. It means he fills the 4 contracts and remains with 6 aggressive contracts left to be filled to complete his order. And what happens next? Price gets pushed to price level 92 where we have the next best available buy limit order. And this guy is willing to buy 20 contracts. But he is only selling 6 contracts remaining from the 10. So he fills in the 6 contracts and this guy remains with 14 buy limit contracts. And what happens next? If there's no order that comes in next, price remains stagnant. Only aggressive orders move price. Hopefully you understand this whole concept. So this guy fills in 4 orders that we had here, then drives price to level 92 to fill in the remaining 6 contracts from this aggressive order. So the 20 that we had here minus the 6 equals to what? To 14 contracts remaining here. Pay attention. So the current price that we have is 92. Why? Because the last transaction we had happened at price level 92. So if the last transaction we had happened at price level 92, that remains as our current price. Then Kevin, what happens if we get an aggressive buyer coming in? Listen carefully. So an aggressive buyer comes in right here and this buyer wants to buy 2 contracts aggressively. And this buyer is saying, Kevin, I want to buy 2 contracts aggressively. Fill me in right now. What happens? So when he places his order at price level 92, we find that we don't have any limit orders to sell to him at these price levels. Price level 92, price level 93, 94, and 95. What does that mean? There is no liquidity. So his order gets pushed to price level 96. So it means price spikes from level 92 to 96 to fill in the two contracts, even though we have 14 limit buy orders. What do I mean by this? Price movement, like I said, I will tell you the exact reason behind price movement. So price movement is the battle between aggression. It is not the battle between buyers and sellers, because buyers and sellers can mean buy limit orders or limit buyers and limit sellers. Price movement does not depend on these two, limit sellers and limit buyers, not at all. Price movement depends on aggression. Since we don't have any aggressive sellers coming to this side, we have two aggressive buyers that will push price from 4 ticks, from price level 92 to price level 96. Can you imagine? Two buyers. Even though we have limit buyers being 14 this side, only two buyers will push price from current level to level 96. Lock that in. Only aggressive orders push price. Only aggressive orders move price. Limit orders will do nothing. So pay attention. Pay attention. So we have aggressive buyers, one aggressive buyer coming in to buy two contracts, and he places his order at price level 92. He finds that there's no liquidity to fill in, so price jumps from level 92 to level 96. There is no liquidity here. When price goes from level 92 to level 96, he fills in the two orders, that is the 9 contracts that we had here, and two aggressive buyers buy 2 contracts from the 9, then we remain with 7 contracts. Now let me rewind back something. Remember, we had 2 orders at price level 96. We had 2 orders at price level 96, and the first contract got filled in with only 6 contracts. So he remained with 4 contracts unfilled, then 5 contracts from the second trader. So what happens if we have aggressive buyers coming here? From the 2 traders that we still have, one trader had his 4 contracts left unfilled, and the other trader had 5 contracts unfilled. We said market is a first come, first serve basis. So what happens is 2 orders get filled from our first order, so 2 orders remain here, and the second trader still has his 5 contracts untouched, which takes us to 7 contracts at this price level from 2 traders. First trader with 2 contracts remaining, second trader with 5 contracts, all unfilled. And this aggressive trader that came in to this price level has a slippage of 4 price levels, 4 ticks. That is the cause of liquidity absence in the market. You will have slippage. And some of you guys that have been trading for some time, I believe you have experienced that. If you take trades very late at night, you trading any asset that is moving full time, let's say 24/7 BTC, doesn't really close, and you take a trade at night, you will experience that slippage because there's no liquidity in the market. It is very hard nowadays to experience this because liquidity is always, markets are very liquid. It is very hard to experience this huge slippage, but slippage is there. So this takes us to the second last explanation. Kevin, what happens if we get an aggressive big seller coming into the market? An aggressive big seller, big aggressive seller, he wants to sell 33 contracts. This is just an explanation. It is very hard to have such aggressive orders, big ones coming, because all the big institutions that are trading huge amounts, huge capital, they do not enter aggressive orders with their huge capital, because these aggressive orders can cause huge or uncertain price movement. They most of the times use limit orders, but this is just an explanation for you to understand what happens. So if market, if we do get a big order coming in, big aggressive seller, and he wants to sell 33 contracts, what happens? Remember, the last price level we had was 96. This is where we had our last transaction. So from price level 96, this seller sends in their order, their aggressive sell order immediately. We find that there is no liquidity at price level 96 to buy. So who does he have to sell to? The next best available level. And what is that level? Price level 95. We go to price level 95. What do we find there? Let's say we find there more orders had came in, right? More orders are into the market. We find there 6 contracts. So when we find there 6 contracts, what happens? He has a big order of 33 contracts. So these buy limit orders, 6 buy limit orders get filled. And what happens? This price level remains empty. There's no more limit orders. So he gets filled. This price level remains empty, no more limit orders. And the aggressive order remains with 27 contracts left for the order to be completely filled, because the order has 33 contracts. So this pushes us to the next best available level. And what level is that? Price level 94. What do we find there? 5 contracts. 5 contracts minus 33. We fill all the 5 contracts and we remain with 0 limit contracts. So what happens? 0 filled, no more liquidity here. We need to push to the next best available level. So what do we have here? 5 contracts, 5 limit orders, 5 buy limit orders get filled, and we have 22 aggressive sell orders left. We go on to the best available level, and that is price level 93. Price level 93, we find there 3 contracts. 3 contracts get filled, we remain with 0 liquidity. What happens? 3 buy limit orders were filled and 19 aggressive sell orders were left for the whole order to be filled in completely. So we push onto the next price that is best for us. Next best price is price level 92. At price level 92, we find that we had 14 limit orders. 14 limit orders minus the 19 that we have, we remain with 5 aggressive orders. By now, you get what I'm trying to explain. Whenever we have an aggressive order and no limit orders and no liquidity, the order will always push price until it's fully filled in. So he entered the order at this price level, but his order got filled in at price level 96. That is very huge spread. That is why big institutions with big capital don't use aggressive orders to enter big contracts or big orders. So right here we see 14 buy limit orders were filled and 5 remained from the aggression. So 5 limit orders all were filled and 0 remained. So the whole aggressive order with 33 contracts got filled at price level 91. So that means this big aggressive seller that we have right here got filled in at price level 91, even though he placed his order at price level 97. So that simply means that aggressive orders are going to push price until they find the best fair limit orders or passive orders or liquidity. Let's lock this in. Now that you know how price movement occurs, or you know auction market theory, transfer this to your candlesticks. Okay, we said a big order comes in at this particular price level, right? And this order wants to sell aggressively how many contracts? 33 contracts. At what price level? Let me remove this. We're gonna use this. Fantastic. All right. Fantastic. So big order comes in at price level. We are looking at this big bearish candle. at price level 80,775. So price level 80, let's call it 80,000. Price level 80,000, you have 33 contracts selling aggressively. What happens? We find that at that price level there is no liquidity, right? And price goes down to fill in the 33 contracts. So price moves around 5 to 6 ticks to fill in the what? The contract. And the candle closes at price level 80,500. So it means candlestick shows you information that has already happened, the information that has locked in. It is not showing you what is inside the it's not showing you what is behind the market. This is what you've told. I do not blame you. I was victim also. So if you zoom into a candlestick, this very candlestick that we have decided to look at, you will see that we do have numbers inside. And the numbers, that is where we mentioned the bid and the ask. The X is what separates the two. But the bid and the ask, currently in my candlestick, these are delta or aggressive orders. So, not to confuse you, allow me to end this lesson here. Those will be for the next session. Thank you so much. So we know we've studied auction market theory. You have the video, do the work, write some notes, and back test. Like I said, everything you study, go straight onto the charts and start back testing. That is the only way you are going to become different from the others. It is the only way you will become a profitable trader. So in the next lecture, we shall open something new. I will introduce you to the depth or to the full understanding of bid and ask from the smart tape. Then from that, we shall enter into our footprint charts and go into deep understanding. With this course, I promise you, by the end of this course, you will be very good at trading. You will not believe yourself. You will not believe the results you see. You will not believe the kind of person you're gonna become. Thank you so much. Stay safe.